I'm gonna make myself an offer that I can't refuse. I should review The Godfather since Megalopolis is coming out this week, and I should tell my viewers that The Godfather is one of my absolute favorite movies of all time, and I am on that bandwagon of The Godfather being ranked among one of the greatest movies of all time. Hey guys, this is Frozen Wish Stews here, and welcome back to another video, another movie review. And today, I am going to be doing a review on The Godfather. So, The Godfather is a film that I don't need to say how iconic it is, but I will talk about how iconic it is eventually in this video. It's a film based on the book by Mario Puzo, and it came out in the year 1972, and it is directed by Francis Ford Coppola, the same director as films like Apocalypse Now, all the Godfather sequels, and the upcoming Megalopolis, and it stars Marlon Brando, Al Pacino, James Caan, Robert Duvall, Richard S. Castellano, Diane Keaton, Talia Shire, Gianni Russo, Simonetta Stephanie, etc. Stefanelli, sorry for the wrong pronunciation. And the film tells a story spanning the years 1945 to 1955, where a chronicle of the fictional Italian-American Corleone crime family, when the organized crime family patriarch Vito Corleone barely survives an attempt on his life. His youngest son, Michael, steps in to take care of the would-be killers, launching a campaign of bloody revenge. And not only does he do that, but he also takes control of the family business. However, Michael is a person who wants nothing to do with with violence, as he's just a young man who has recently dropped out of college. He is looking to start his own life with his wife, Kay Adams, and he is about to be godfather to Connie and Carlo. One day when Michael has killed the people, specifically the same gang who killed Vito, Michael goes out into hiding, and so he sets out for a path that Vito does not want him to take. Now, yes, guys, I'm sure you guys know why exactly I am reviewing this movie now. It's because Megalopolis, Francis Ford Coppola's newest, will come out, and it's really a shame that Francis Ford Coppola's movies are no longer well received, because back then Francis Ford Coppola is being hailed as one of the greatest directors of all time, like the same person who's made one of the greatest trilogies of all time. I'm not sure if I would actually call The Godfather one of my favorite movie trilogies of all time, but it sure is a damn excellent trilogy. It's just brought down by a third film that is okay, but very underwhelming. But even though Megalopolis is a very polarizing film, I'm actually really excited for it. I'm actually looking forward to Megalopolis. I'm hyped for it. Now, one reason being that it's directed by Francis Ford Coppola. Now, I will admit that Francis Ford Coppola is not one of my favorite directors of all time. He's not one of my all-time favorite directors. I think there are a few other directors that I like better. But I guess at its time, yes, he was the best director. One of the greatest director for its time with films like, with films like Apocalypse Now, Bram Stoker's Dracula, a few others that probably I'm forgetting. And of course, this film, I just said in the intro of my video that this this was one of my favorite films of all time, and it is true. So yeah, and I think every single cinephile or film bro or like a true film fan would know that The Godfather is objectively one of the greatest movies of all time. And there are people out there who would consider this to be one of their absolute favorite films, let alone their like number one favorite film of all time, and for good reasons. Now, I still remember, like when I first heard of this film, like all the way back, like almost nearly more than 10 years ago, where basically I used to follow this site called the top10s.com, where like basically you get the top tens of everything, where like you get to also add some honorable mentions as well, but every top 10 list it is being made by a certain user. But yeah, basically, but there's like this whole community who can like contribute to by adding honorable mentions and all that stuff. And then I came across the top 10 greatest movies of all time list on that website. That was where I first discovered The Godfather, being at number one. So I was like, ooh, okay, Godfather, I'm curious. But when I saw the genre, I was like, that's drama, I was like, I don't know. Because let's be frankly here, was not really a guy to appreciate dramas back then. I always, every time I see that film is genre, I always fear that it's going to be boring and all that stuff. And then again, the second time I heard The Godfather, I heard like a person talk about The Godfather was when I was back then I used to watch the Anthony Bourdain the documentary series. My dad showed me. He's a huge Anthony Bourdain fan, and even my mom met that guy in person. No joke. So yeah, there was this one time where like he was like talking about he was talking about a movie like in a restaurant with a friend of his, and he said that his favorite movie of all time is The Godfather. So yes, I eventually checked this out for the very first time. I think it was in 2019 where I finally saw this film for the first time. Well, maybe 2019 or 2020, I'm not sure, but eventually I did watch this movie. And while I loved the Godfather, while I loved it and I could see it, it wasn't really among my favorite movies of all time back then. And it's totally understandable that the first time it's not going to hit you the first time. And I rewatched it a few other times, and yes, I get I started to understand more on what makes a Godfather so impactful, but I still have not jumped into that bandwagon. However, earlier this year, I rewatched The Godfather on a plane during my flight to New York. Yes, I did go to New York in January of this year. I did not vlog because it was a short and personal vacation. It was mainly for my mom. I was mainly there for my mom's business. On the return flight home, I rewatched The Godfather as one of my picks. Yeah, and yes, I was very sleepy in the plane. I was like watching a bunch of movies, and like with such a sleepy mind, I would like doze off towards them. But when it came to me like watching The Godfather as possibly the last movie I saw on the plane before landing, the movie itself woke me up. It opened my eyes like widely. It really got me sucked in. The Godfather, yeah, it instantly snapped on me, and that was when I decided to join in the bandwagon and I decided to join the bandwagon with all those people who consider The Godfather to be one of the greatest movies of all time. I mean, one of them. And I rewatched it again back in March for its 52nd anniversary. And now last night, yes, I rewatched The Godfather 3 times this year. 3 times. First was January in the plane, then March, and now last night. And yes, guys, I see it now. Not only do I see it, but I'm actually on the bandwagon because let me tell you guys right now, The Godfather is indeed one of my absolute favorite movies of all time. And yeah, and let me tell you why. Let me explain to you on why I think The Godfather is one of the greatest movies in history. Okay, yes, I will say that I know what you're thinking. Oh, but Frozen, how the fuck are you putting The Godfather in the same on the same league as Frozen 2 and Wish? Yeah, I mean, yes, I will admit, yeah, I still prefer those two movies over Godfather. Don't hate me, but I guess we all have personal preferences. And yes, guys, if I tell you guys The Godfather is the best movie of all time, I would be lying. It's not even my favorite Best Picture winner. That would still go to The Lord of the Rings: The Return of the King. But The Godfather is a close second, a very close second. And The Godfather is without question in my top 5 favorite movies of all time list. Yeah, I still prefer Return of the King, and yes, but yes, Frozen 2 and Wish, I mean, they're the unbeatable films, with the exception of Frozen 3 and 4. And Return of the King is my favorite live action movie of all time, but this one just, this is certainly right up there, and this is like, and if there's any movie that I would say it is the most well deserved of all the praise and of all the critical acclaim that it gets, I mean, I would say the Godfather to it. So yeah. Now I will admit that drama is not one of my absolute favorite genres. My favorite genre is action and musical. Like, it's neck between them. Everyone knows that. But maybe if I made a top 10 list, maybe drama would be somewhere on there. But it just won't be that high. Because I think there are other genres I enjoy more. I mean, I already mentioned action and musical. Also, I got fantasy, sci-fi, maybe sports, mystery. Yeah, there are a few other genres. I prefer. Well, as for superhero films, well, I consider them as more of action films because I play superhero films as an action movie geek, as an action movie fan myself. But yeah, dramas now. As much drama as I appreciate that, there has never been a drama film that has engaged me more than this. Or I would say also, I would also put biopics right up there as among my all time favorite genres. And yeah, there has never been a drama more engaging than this. And yes, guys, The Godfather is the greatest film of its. Sorry. Okay, back to what I was saying. The Godfather is the greatest film of its respective genres. It's my favorite drama. It's my favorite drama movie of all time, my favorite crime movie of all time, and my favorite gangster movie of all time. And I will say, guys, yes, I am actually a fan of gangster movies. Like, I would probably put gangster in my top 10 favorite genres of all time. You got some amazing gangster movies like Goodfellas, The Departed, last year's Killers of the Flower Moon. Well, kind of. And I'm also looking forward to next year's Alta Nights. Well, not one of my most anticipated movies as 2025. Maybe, but I'll see a trailer for it first before I judge. But yeah, The Godfather is without any hesitation the greatest gangster movie of all time. The movie immediately sucks audiences in from the moment the movie brilliantly opens. With an amazing score from Nino Rota. And by the way, if I were to make a list of the greatest movie scores of all time, I would certainly put The Godfather on that list. The music is so memorable with the dun 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 dun. Yeah, like, it's so memorable. And of course you got the brilliant opening monologue, which I think is one of the greatest monologues ever put in a film. Maybe my favorite monologue, but I don't think about it. But yeah, love this monologue, especially with the I believe in America. America's made my fortune, and so on and so forth. Yeah, it's so gripping, it's so powerful, and of course you got the opening was like basically a conversation between him and Vito Corleone. And the moment you hear Vito Corleone open his mouth, okay, I mean I forgot his first line, but he's basically like, "Why you come here? Why didn't you call the police?" Something like that. Something like that. But yeah, you're immediately sucked into the film just by his dialogue alone, just by their conversation alone. Yes, sure. The movie may be kind of a slow burn film since it's basically a dialogue driven genre. And that's exactly what a drama is. Drama is more focused on dialogue. It's more focused on story. And sometimes drama movies can be a drag. But this film is a perfect showcase on how a film with mainly seeing people talk can be so engaging. Now, yeah, it's very similar to how people praise Oppenheimer, and I praise Oppenheimer for that too. Well, what does Oppenheimer have to do with this, you may ask? Well, one of the biggest compliments that people give to Oppenheimer is that despite a 3 hour film about people like just talking and talking and talking, the way that these people talk, these characters talk in a way that is so engaging. And it just like grips you and just sucks you into the film, even if there's like no high entertainment value and all of that. That's basically The Godfather. And it's just engaging from start to finish. This is a near 3 hour runtime, and the credits actually roll like in a 2 hour 50 minutes mark. Not like Endgame where like it's a 3 hour movie, but the credits are rolled like 2 hours and 40 minutes. No, it's actually almost a legit 3 hour film, and the film just flies by. You do not feel the runtime at all. The stories, it's just simply put one of the greatest stories ever told. It's so gripping, tight, and brilliant. It has heavy themes of family, greed, corruption, power, etc. It's a story that makes audiences think. It's a very complex story with a very simple story on paper, but it's very big, grandeur, and complex. And it's surprisingly rewatchable too. Now I've heard some people say that Godfather is just a one-time watch. It's actually not rewatchable, but just the fact that I have rewatched The Godfather 3 times this year, as I mentioned earlier, it just goes to show how good and how rewatchable this movie is. Francis Ford Coppola brilliantly directs the hell out of this film, and you can clearly see his passion. So much so that there is even a biopic TV series but that goes by the name of The Offer. Although if you're wondering what I thought about that show, it was good. I really enjoyed it. However, I do think it should have been a movie. I mean, I was gripped by it. Like, it was the first portion of the show, the first half of the series was gripping, but then it did go downhill, like, later on, showing that, the writers didn't run out of ideas. It would have been better as a movie. Because it's basically a story that can be told in like, as a movie. But actually, the middle is where it drags. But the first few episodes and last couple of episodes are great. Okay, what else? The cinematography in this film is beautifully shot. It's so beautiful, and the visuals of it. No, of course, there's no visual effect, but I mean, like the looks of the film, the color palette. It looks like it still holds up to this day. Nothing in this movie feels outdated. Oh, but maybe I'm saying that because of the fact that the film came out like that the film had its remastered version back in 2021. And I did rewatch, and it was the remastered version that I was rewatching again. But yeah, there are two certain aspects that stand out the most to me in this movie. One of the two is the dialogue. And the dialogue is what holds the story strong, especially with some of the most iconic lines in movie history. Such as, "I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse. Take the gun, leave the cannoli," and of course my favorite. Look how they massacred my boy. Yeah, that scene got me smiling. And the performances are absolutely legendary. Yeah, the performances are the other, like, great aspect of the film. From the likes of Marlon Brando, who gives one of the greatest performances of all time. And it's so impressive that Marlon Brando was in his 40s when this movie came out. Yeah, he played a super old man, and the movie actually convinces you that he's actually super old. How impressive is that? It's like the opposite of what James Cameron pulled off in Avatar: The Way of Water, where Sigourney Weaver, an actress in her 70s, plays a teenager, and you're fully convinced that the character is actually a teenager. Yeah, because of impressive visuals. It's like basically the reverse of this for the God for Marlon Brando's character in this one. And it's just like amazing. It's because of amazing makeup. And of course, you got the legendary Al Pacino, and you also got all the amazing, the top notch type performances from James Caan, Diane Keaton, Talia Shire, Robert Duvall, etc. And of course, and also the underrated Simonetta Stefanelli as well. She's so underrated in this film. Yeah, I mean, does she have limited screen time? Yes, but it shows that characters with limited screen time can actually make an impact. Heck, Marlon Brando does not have a lot of screen time in this film, especially in the middle portion. I mean, you may think that Marlon Brando is the lead because, like, basically he was promoted as the lead. He's like the main promotional guy, but the story from beginning to end is actually told in the point of view of Al Pacino's Michael Corleone. This is Michael's movie. We just think that is Vito's, but it's not. I mean, the reason why we consider Vito to be like the greatest character in the film is because of just how likable he is. While the other characters can be total assholes and all that stuff, Vito is like the wisest and the most humble man ever. The wisest. Yeah, he's like the one character who does not do anything unlikable. Yeah, and the characters are all well written in their own way. So no matter how much screen time they got, then yeah, I honestly, for the life of me, cannot decide on which character I would say is my favorite character in the film. But it actually comes down to four characters. Yeah, four characters who I would say is my favorite. You got, well, technically three characters. Well, Michael was supposed to be the fourth, but thinking about it, no, actually I think these three characters who I'm about to mention now would be my favorite. Yeah, Don Vito Corleone, Connie Corleone, and Apollonia. Yeah. Now I will say that Apollonia is the hottest character in the film and my crush. But however, I think it would be I don't want to make it things a little unfair and just say that she's the best character in the film, just because she's hot. But considering that she's only like in one scene, I would love to put her as my favorite character. And it's not like Paloma No Time to Die, where like she only had 10 minutes of screen time, but 10 minutes of screen time, but there was like a spark in her to put her like there. How do I say this? Yeah, there was a spark that made her so impactful. I mean, I'm debating if Apollonia is my favorite or not. Yeah, I mean, Connie. I also love Connie. I think Connie is another one of my Godfather crushes. my crushes in this movie. I think she is just cute. And Talia Shire's performance is so underrated. Honestly, this should have got an Oscar. Especially my favorite scene in the film, which I'll talk about later. And Vito is just like what I said, the most likable and humble and respectful character in the film. The one character who does not do anything wrong. Okay, maybe Apollonia also does not do anything evil, but she's just only there for like 10 minutes and blows up and dies. And yes, it's really sad to see Apollonia just get killed off. Get yeah, killed off. And yeah, let's talk about my favorite moments in this film. There's a lot of great moments as well. A lot of like great moments that I would consider my favorites. Like the opening monologue scene, the I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse scene. The climax with the baptism shootout. Well, technically the mall shootout where you see having Michael be at baptism like with the allow these gangsters to easily kill people and get away with it. It got so much stuff as well. But I think to me the best moments in the film are the moments from the 1 hour 30 minute mark to the 2 hour mark, like that portion of the film. I think that is the best scene in the film, or in other words, the middle act. Yeah. Usually in movies, the middle act would be the weakest moment in the film. But for some reason, this film managed to make its middle act the most memorable moment in the film. You got sequences like throughout that portion of the film that I just mentioned. You got moments like Michael Corleone in Sicily, like basically the entire Sicily sequence. The entire Sicily sequence. You got Sonny being an overprotective brother to Connie, where he beats up Carlo, beats the hell out of Carlo. You got that infamous, my favorite Vito Corleone moment. Look how they massacred my boy. But I think my absolute favorite scene in this entire film was the fight scene between Carlo and Connie. Yeah. I mean, ever since I watched the Godfather for the very first time, that was actually my absolute favorite scene in the whole film. Just that scene is so entertaining to watch. Yeah, it's just pure entertainment. It almost feels like a blockbuster-ish moment of being slapped into an art house film. Even though The Godfather is technically not an art house film. That scene just being there, it's so good, man. It's just so memorable. Yeah, you'd actually feel so bad for Connie, like being so abused by her dick husband. And honestly, guys, Carlo is the worst character in the film. No, he's not a bad character based on writing wise, quality wise. Hell no to that. Carlo is just the most unlikable character in the film, just based on how just based on his morality. But let's be real here. Carlo is written to be an abusive, evil husband, and Connie's a badass too. I mean, the fact that she actually tried to fight back to Carlo and try to kill him with a knife, that is a girl boss, girl power move right there. Yeah, there was some girl power in that scene. So and what else? Oh yeah, and speaking of which, the last point, the final point that I want to make for this film is that it's actually not afraid to get cheesy as well. Like there are some cheesy moments too. Like I mentioned that Sonny being Carlo, and you also got this scene where like somewhere in the beginning portion of the film where Vito was like confronting Michael for not doing his duties right, and the way Vito talking like, what's wrong with you? Why are you not taking it seriously? That was actually cheesy in some of the best ways possible. So overall, there's nothing much else to be said about The Godfather, other than it's just one of my absolute favorite films of all time. It's a top five favorite movies for me, and it's no competition. The best movies of the 1970s, and the best movie, not the best, movie of the last century. Well, yeah, I mean, meaning the best movie that's not in the 21st century. So with that said, guys, I'm going to give The Godfather a 6 out of 5 stars, or rather infinity out of 5, whatever. So also for my review of The Godfather, what are your thoughts on the film? Would you agree with me that this is one of the greatest movies of all time? Or do you think The Godfather is a bit overrated? And if you haven't seen The Godfather, where have you been? Like, watch this movie. Have you been living under a rock? The Godfather is a movie that every single person needs to watch at least once in their life. So yeah, comment down below, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and stay tuned for my movie review on Megalopolis, as well as my trailer reviews for Thunderbolts, Gladiator 2, and Sinners. If you're wondering what Sinners is, it's basically the upcoming Ryan Coogler horror film, and Haley Steinfeld is in it. Yeah, you all know how I already feel about that, just based on Haley Steinfeld alone. And maybe Red One, but I'll think about it. I'll think about it if I'll include Red One in my upcoming trailer review series. Oh, and also as well as my reviews for Abominable for its 5th anniversary. So yeah, bye guys.